Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
Forget the Great Wall, forget the pandas, but just for a minute, of course, because the new reason millions are flooding into China this summer isn't ancient history, it's the future. People are coming for humanoid robots, brain-computer interfaces, and rocket launches that turn the sky into a light show. With over 22 million foreign arrivals already this year, tech tourism is creating a new China checklist. Don't forget, on Wednesday, we're going to be talking about Chinese Valentine's Day, so we want to hear from you. These are the two questions for you to answer. Number one, what is the number one thing you look for when searching for a new partner? And number two, what is it like dating in your city or your country in 2026? That might be in China or anywhere around the world. You can send your emails or your voice notes to roundtablepodcast@qq.com. We're coming to you live from our studios in Beijing. This is Roundtable. I'm Steve Hatherley. Thanks for being with us today. And for the show, I'm with Yushan and Yushun. First up, China has always had some pretty obvious items on the foreign tourist checklist. I'm guessing that you could guess them yourself. Maybe climb the Great Wall, wander around the Forbidden City, go see the pandas, of course. That's a must-do and must-see. Those are the classics. But this summer, there seems to be a new kind of China experience catching on. It's related to China Cool. In the first half of this year alone, China saw over 22 million, in fact, almost 23 million foreign arrivals. That is 20% up from year on year, or from last year. And as more overseas visitors come to the country, their travel itineraries are becoming a lot more adventurous. Instead of just taking pictures of ancient buildings and panda bears, some are now coming to watch humanoid robots perform, experience brain-computer interfaces, or maybe even visit high-tech factories. And also on the list, chasing rocket launches. Sounds pretty fun. So, what are the hottest tech-focused travel destinations in China right now? Yushan and Yushan, good afternoon to you. I think it's true. You know, when most tourists come to China, at least before they come, maybe in the past they'd think Great Wall is something that you gotta do. Go and see the panda bears in Chengdu, you gotta do that. Go to Shanghai and check out the night skyline there. But now the itinerary seems to be changing a little bit this year.
Yeah, I think that kind of is the same for every country too. When you travel to one particular traveling destination, you want to see the sightseeing and the spots that cannot be replicated anywhere else. But who would have thought that tech can be the latest hook that draws overseas travelers to China? Because previously, tech-focused travel can more or less be associated with business, like a business trip of sorts.
Yeah, maybe your company is visiting for a conference or something like that. But just for tourist reasons alone, kind of unheard of.
Yeah, it's not anymore these days, because now for travelers, it's more than just for individual travelers, but also for families with kids, for students on summer break. They're all welcome to kind of just walk around and don't just try out one or two innovative design or products here in China, but to see how they're made. And when we talk about technology-focused tourism in China, Hangzhou of eastern China's Zhejiang province is one of the most popular destinations, at least for this summer. Because in Hangzhou, foreign visitors can interact with humanoid robots and test brain-computer interfaces and experiment with AI-generated content and see how digital platforms are used in transport, in shopping, and in urban management, every aspect of life. So I think that's more or less what we've covered previously, but they're also something that they're doing that's kind of niche.
Yeah, what I saw was, because we know a lot of the Chinese tourist, like tour guides, they will give out like templates and these kind of flyers showing like foreigners, okay, we're visiting Hangzhou, this is called the Heaven on Earth, that kind of thing. But mostly they were going
what's Heaven on Earth in Hangzhou?
That place. Hangzhou, the city is called Heaven on Earth.
It's called Heaven on Earth.
Yes,
oh, okay.
Because you can visit all of these lakes, the beautiful sceneries and the willow trees on the side. But now they're also giving out new templates showing you, we are taking you to the factories. We're taking you to experience the BCI interfaces. You can use a helmet and control things. And that is something new. And a lot of these foreigners are just now instead of course, they can still visit these West Lake area, and they add another itinerary of these high-tech things.
Well, the city itself is kind of an interesting mix of old and new, from what I understand. Historically speaking, yeah, the lakes and the beauty, the natural scenery is what the city was known for. But now that's kind of like half of its story. But then the other half of its story is this growing technological hub aspect too.
Now, if we ask Marco Polo from the 13th to 14th century, he would have agreed with you on the fact that, yeah, it's a very beautiful city to visit, scenic spots or natural resource-wise. But then, when we look at the tech side, how it's fast developing in modern times, one of the companies on Hangzhou's new tech study tour routes is called BrainCo, which develops non-invasive brain-computer interface technology. So what foreign visitors can see here is, for example, a bionic hand controlled by neural and muscle signals, as well as wearable, like you mentioned, like something like a helmet or a device for attention training that you can wear on your head. And it can even help you to relax and fall asleep. So that's hands-on look at how BCI technology, the brain-computer interface technology, is like practical. It can become part of a daily tourism experience.
It's kind of cool because you don't think of that as even a possibility if you're a tourist, yes?
Right.
Like you said, if you're coming on a business trip or some sort of conference or something, you might get a tour of one of these places where you can experience the tech yourself. But we don't think about that as an opportunity when traveling to any city or any country, that you could take part within these types of hands-on experiences to see the latest in technological advances.
Yeah.
And if you are less of a tech fan, you don't want to go to these kind of a little bit scary programs, you can also check out a lot of these deep dive on the humanities side of the city. There is a Liangzhu archaeological site in Hangzhou's Yuhan district where digital tools help interpret ancient Chinese civilization. So you can actually go to this museum with AR glasses. You can hold a black pottery jar in your palm and watch its symbols come alive. And in their halls, you can use these holograms to reveal the story of royal tomb excavations.
So yeah, in Liangzhu is actually an archaeological site, an excavation site that has been the priority for our cultural development, in proving that the Chinese civilization has extended in the past 4,000 to 5,000 years. It's a sitting evidence located in Hangzhou. So instead of just walking in and see all the bumpy dirt, like here's excavation pit 1 and 2, now we have technology to restore things, how it's excavated, how this thing used to look like, and what the patterns used to mean for ancient people from thousands of years ago.
Yeah, it's just another opportunity, another way for people to do or maybe have a learning experience. There was a quote from the director of the study tour department of the local cultural tourism development company, and the quote said this: "Overseas interest has risen markedly since June last year. The number of overseas customers coming for that particular company's technology-themed program, which they have, increased by more than 120% from the year before. So there's a lot of interest in that. Students are involved in that as well, by the way. So it's not just, it is families coming with their kids and things like that, but also students who are involved in these programs too.
Yeah, and when we're comparing with Hangzhou's deep cultural roots and the kind of like a semi-ancient and cultural, semi-high-tech kind of vibe, just not very far, I think it's more or less moderate far away from Hangzhou, sits the city of Shenzhen.
Oh, just a few hours away, right?
Yeah, a few hours away. It's located in southern China's Guangdong province, and it's attracting packs of overseas visitors with a rather different vibe, because the city of Shenzhen itself comes with a totally different history than Hangzhou.
Well, that's why these two, and this is the other place that tourists are going for a fun tech experience. The comparison of the two cities cities, though, and obviously I'm no expert, but from what I've learned so far, is that Hangzhou has what we said, right? The combination of the old and the new. Marco Polo story, very kind of romantic history there. And then you've got the new tech side, whereas Shenzhen is full on brand new tech.
Exactly. Shenzhen is a city that is known for its vibrant vibe and, that kind of new style, whole metropolitan city style, because it was once a small fishing village before 1980, which means that now it's probably, got refurbished. The whole city got refurbished.
That's an understatement if I've ever heard one. I didn't know that though. It was a fishing village before 1980.
Yeah, because
Wow.
if you're visiting some of these places, you can actually see, for example, it is now a square, and now there is a line on the ground and saying it used to be the seashore.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's actually filling it is filling a lot of land, and you can see the city of Shenzhen is expanding day after day.
Well, the city, Shenzhen as we know it now it's even newer than 1980, right? The history of what it looks like now doesn't go back that far.
Well,
Because it's been changing and also still refurbishing. Basically every week I took a business trip there, and people I interviewed saying that probably 5 years ago this place was totally different from now.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's always growing.
is it fair to call it the tech capital of China? It has more than 2,200 AI company. I want to say that again. More than 2,200 AI companies in Shenzhen alone. That is an incredible statistic. And of course, they have the industry chain there that spans from smart chips and algorithm frameworks. They have large model companies. They have software, hardware applications. I mean, it's just a city that stands as a manufacturing base for unmanned aerial vehicles. Those videos have become popular online. The drones delivering your bubble tea is mind-blowing to
Yeah.
me and my friends, because I sent my friends that video too, and they were like, whoa, which future is that from? 70%, by the way, this is fun to know, 70% of China's consumer drones and 50% of its industrial drones all come from the Shenzhen area.
So I would call Shenzhen the tech capital in terms of test beds, being the test bed for a lot of the innovative tech products. That meaning that if you visit Shenzhen, you'll probably see something that's so new that everywhere else in China, if not the world, hasn't tried it out yet, but you can see it there. So for tourism for this summer, the itinerary for international tourists would include visiting the Shenzhen Science and Technology Museum, for example, and also the flagship stores of tech companies such as Xiaomi, Huawei, and DJI. They're all there in Shenzhen. And also it has the world's first Robot 6S store where visitors can actually see daily humanoid robot show, buy robot-made coffee, and rent just a customized robot for personal or business use. As well as, well, here is where we mentioned Huaqiangbei again. It's one of the world's largest wholesale market for electronic products. People will just flock there. And if they've seen something they can afford and they actually like from the tech show that I mentioned above, they can get it there.
And 6S here, I also searched it up. It's actually the combination of sale, spare part, service, survey, lease, and customization.
All encompassing.
Yes.
Anything you need for your robot, you can find it at the 6S store. There was another quote from a tour guide who's been doing that in Shenzhen for 20 years. And the tour guide said visitors come from all over the world: Switzerland, America, Australia, Russia, Oman, South Africa. The list is very, very long. Many of them reach out online after seeing the videos that the tour guide posts on social media about tech tours. And this is a cool thing that I didn't know. So you've got local tour guides posting videos on social media saying, oh, here's what you can do if you visit Shenzhen on one of our tech tours. People reach out and they visit as a result of that. What a really cool idea. There was another tour guide that said before coming to Shenzhen, many foreign visitors, they'd only seen those videos of the drones delivering the bubble tea like me, right?
Yeah.
They've only seen stuff like that. Or maybe the another popular one is the driverless taxis. They've seen those videos too. But the tour guide said after they get there, then they see for themselves how the city is really kind of systematically transforming into an AI futuristic-driven city, which is, like you said, Yushan, changing all the time.
Yeah. I had exactly the same experience when I tried that drone delivering my milk tea. It was, of course, there it is on the stage of, I think, still piloting, because it's not that widely spread. The spots that you can get that delivery is not widely spread. But the thing is that when you got there, when you actually got the milk tea from the drone, you can still feel, wow, we're living in the future.
Yeah.
Is it still hot?
Yes.
Oh.
It is still cool, actually. We were ordering
ordered the cool one.
somewhere.
How far away is the shop? I wondered that when I was watching the video.
The shop is actually need to be quite close. It's probably within 3-kilometer range, I think.
And then another aspect of the video that I saw was talking about how it's environmentally friendly because the boxes, I mean, they do have to do quite a bit of packaging
yes.
to make sure that it gets delivered safely. It is being delivered by a drone after all. But they have recycling bins right there. So as soon as the drone drops it off, you take the tea out of your packaging, and then you can immediately put that packaging back in the recycling box for future use.
Yes.
I think this is when we think about how this is a changing of aspect, because perhaps what's changing here isn't simply what tourists want to see, it's what they think a destination is for. Like, you can still go to, of course, the local tourism sightseeing spot. The West Lake is still there. The ancient architectures are still there, waiting for you to be there. But now there's new routes, new varieties, new possibilities for travel opened up to you. That is to live or try living in a sci-fi movie yourself.
What are some of the things that people are specifically checking out? Factory tour. Well, is that the right term to use? Factory tour?
Yeah, more or less. One British traveler recently drew attention on doing something like that because he actually went to a kitchen appliance production line. And apart from that, he went to a whole list of different places. He's also at a smart socket factory, and then an EV workshop, and then an chip testing company, and he was genuinely amazed by what he saw. And he noted that in on social media that here in China, a range hood or dishwasher can roll off the production line every 25 seconds. 6 different car models can be built on the same assembly line at the same time, and a 3-pin power socket can come out every 2 seconds. That's what we were able to see there.
I did not know that.
Me neither.
Thank you to that British traveler.
Yeah.
One EV maker, this is another example of tech tourism. There was an EV maker that actually opened its doors to the public. It was a couple of years ago. It was in March of 2024. But I think then maybe it was kind of an unknown thing, or maybe not even that popular for people to do. But since that time, they've had over 250,000 guests. That's 250,000 people who have visited there to see how the EVs get put together, and that is one of the hottest tickets in town for tech tourism. It really is catching on. And we should say too, it's not to say that people, like you said, Yushan, it's not to say people aren't checking out the historical side of these cities when they're visiting too. It's just that it's this whole new market that's bringing people to the country, which is really cool. So what does this say, Yushan? What do you think? I mean, if we look at traveling in China as a whole in 2026, what can we gather from this?
I think it is a whole new upgrade of the whole idea of traveling. As commented by Rest of World, which is a U.S. tech outlet, some travelers are, shelling out $9,000 $9,000, right, for an in-depth and behind-the-scenes tour of Chinese tech factories.
Just one tour.
Yeah, I think
that wouldn't be the norm, by the way. Yeah,
And
this would be a kind of a high-end exclusive event, I would think.
Yes, because if you look across international media coverage, a fascinating consensus emerges is that it's not just about one flashy gadget. What really wins over foreign visitor is the entire tech ecosystem. And I think what I can totally see is that, I'm not sure if you checked some of these short videos asking foreigners if you can name 3 Chinese companies, then you will get $100.
Oh.
And more are naming, it's not these kind of traditional Baijiu companies. It's just these Xiaomi, Huawei, these tech companies. So I think they are in their mind that, okay, if I have a chance to visit China, maybe seeing some of these high-tech factories is the place I want to go.
Do you think that's important, that when people come, they become more familiar with company names? Do you see that as something that's important, or just kind of a side effect of visiting?
I think it's very important in building a country's image in people from outside of that very country, because previously, if you think about Xiaomi, Huawei, BYD, people may think of it as a international rivalry against some of their own local companies. But now, after seeing what these companies are doing and contributing and just creating content and products that's actually benefiting not only China but around the world, I think that's important, because it's a living experience that can be implemented everywhere else, basically. And that's sort of the advantage of China doing this whole technology-focused tourism here too, because our advantage lies in the scale at which technology has moved beyond labs and exhibition halls or museums to become seamlessly integrated into the everyday fabric of our daily lives. I think that's quoting from one professor, Wu Liyun from Beijing International Studies University, by the way. So this is something that people can touch and see instead of hearing from daily news report or just seeing, China is importing or exporting how many EVs this year, and just read those data from news headlines.
Yeah, I think so. And seeing how it's implemented into daily life. And I also think it's important that people learn about the companies too, because I see it, this is just my opinion, but I see it as being connected to the China cool wave in the sense that, we're sitting here in Beijing, right? So we know what ByteDance is. We know what Alibaba is. We know what BYD is. But people on the other side of the world, they might see these company names and might not know. They literally might not know. They might associate that with another country.
Yeah.
Right? So when we it's almost like putting a face to a name, almost. And I think it is an important thing, because when you're putting out, EVs, for example, we know the statistics about EV sales around the world and the quality of the cars. When people know exactly where they're coming from and the quality of the product is really, really good, then it helps with that whole cool wave that we're talking about. And when people visit Hangzhou and Shenzhen and they see this firsthand and they see the company names, I think it's an important connection to make.
And they're not only visiting, they're also spending as they travel to these respective cities as well. This is according to Gu Weiping with a Hangzhou-based technology cultural tourism company. He said that young visitors typically spend around 200 to 500 yuan a day at their resort. That's roughly 30 to 70 US dollars on probably just smaller gadgets, like a mini fan or a small,
Sure.
computer.
I mean, if you're there for tech tourism, you're definitely going to buy some tech-related products.
Yeah,
too.
and then with family and study tour groups, they spend much more, about 500 to 1,000 yuan. That's roughly 70 to 150 US dollars. So you see the expectations kind of level up as you travel in a group. More or less, I guess.
And what I can see is that more and more videos or foreign influencers are making videos of experiencing these kind of things. And one thing is these AI-powered walking exoskeleton.
Oh, yeah. Did you try that when you were there?
No, I didn't.
You tried it, didn't you,
Yeah,
Yushan?
well, for video's case, I only tried the upper body device. And the whole experience itself is kind of strange because I feel like something is supporting me under my arm as I try to lift heavy things. But the other thing that I felt is the device itself back then, 2 years ago when I first tried it, was kind of heavy.
Oh, really? The thing itself.
So it goes with pros and cons, but I think nowadays the whole experience can be already elevated.
What I can saw is that comments are saying, wow, there was probably mind-blowing when you can actually experience that kind of thing, and most of the time they're free, if you're just trying them on. You're not buying them.
I didn't believe my arm.
Well, is it Mount Tai where people are at? You can rent them there, right?
Oh, for climbing up?
Yeah,
Ooh.
you can rent them. I think Mount Tai, forgive me if I'm mistaken about the mountain, but that's where the robot dogs help to clean trash.
Yep.
They bring
bottled water.
Yeah, those robot dogs are very active. But I'm not actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't know that they are regularly available for rent, but the video that I saw from a news reporter, I think that's what he said, and he went up the mountain using the exoskeleton. And I think the reason they chose that mountain is because it's famous for the number of steps it takes to get to the top.
Exactly. That is one of the China's most famous mountains, and with 5,000 feet has more than 7,000 steps. That's why it is a challenge for everybody.
Yeah.
And now they started to rent these exoskeletons, and people are trying them, using them. I think it's 80 yuan per time, so probably $10 for using that.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. And I also watched other videos of domestic tourists where, because even if you're in good shape, walking up Mount Tai is a challenge. So the videos were like, in the bottom, everybody's like, oh, yay, it's going to be a great day. And then later it's like,
and
struggling
people
for breath.
Crying. And, I'm stuck here.
Final question. What do you think? Is this sustainable tech tourism? Because when you have something as worldwide famous as the Great Wall, I'll use the Great Wall for example. Your tourist numbers are never going to stop. People will always visit it, and they might even visit a second or third time. But with a place like Hangzhou or Shenzhen, once you've seen the robots do what the robots do, is it something that people will continue to visit for? What do you think?
I think, first of all, we cannot ignore the fact that this whole tourism market is still very young because many technology venues are still difficult for independent overseas visitors to discover. And there is indeed some kind of booking channels and multilingual explanations and information about payment and refunds that are yet to be fully standardized and made convenient for people, even though we've tried very hard.
Yeah, just the simplicity, making it easy to travel.
So some, and also reputational-wise, some of the trend, part of this trend right now runs on word of mouth, and also the promotional videos you guys have mentioned by far. The kind of like a whole passion that people are sharing. Oh, I've seen this, or oh, I've seen that. Just so just like you said, Steve, if people is just here for the one-time viewing experience, then it's probably going to be very short. It's not going to be lasting so long as something that people will return back to. But if we manage to build out the infrastructure and actually make things easier for example, booking and consistency in the travel, in accessing the travel, in the multilingual services and stuff, if we keep on upgrading it and keep on bringing new stuff for people to actually see.
You took the words right out of my mouth because I was I was going to say, because the Great Wall is the Great Wall, and what it looks like now is probably what it's going to look like 50 years from now. Right. But in Shenzhen, if you think Shenzhen is going to look the same, or Hangzhou is going to look the same with the same products 50 years from now, absolutely no way.
That is probably exactly the sustainable part of the whole tech tourism. You can always have new ideas, new products coming your way 5-10 years later.
And if that's the experimental part of the if that's the city where the experiments, tech experiments, and let's see how this goes and how this works in public and in society, if that's always going to be the place, I think people will always visit those cities, Hangzhou and Shenzhen. That's cool. I want to get down there now and see what it's actually like.